So, shop updates. 2024, almost going into 2025. We're pretty much done with the season. Um, haven't made a video in freaking ages, unfortunately. I've just been too lazy to, realistically. Not for the lack of having footage. I have plenty of footage I could make a couple videos out of, but I just, being blunt, man, haven't had the motivation for it. So we're going to change that. We're going to do something new for 2025 and actually film stuff. So, at least we have a lot of cool stuff on the plate. This being one of them. This is not my car anymore, though. We had this car for about a year, and we couldn't figure out the ABS light for some reason, and we pretty much given up on trying to figure that out. So now it's Dylan's Pro-Am car. So it is a stock C5 or C6 05. So it's the LS2 with the crappy diff, which we're gonna fix everything. We're gonna gut it, cage it, 4-speed. We don't know what transmission we're going with. It's either gonna be a Rolltech or a G-Force, like G101A. It's gonna probably go with the Bulldogs diff, and it's gonna be a fucking nasty car when we're done. But that's my off-season project for the most part. So that's fun. We have this thing over here, which is a Ford 302, if I'm not mistaken. Nasty supercharged Rolltech 4-speed with a Winters quick change BMW E36. We're gonna yank that out. We're not less down it. I know this motor can make upwards to like probably 1,300 horsepower if we really wanted to kill it, but I'm just gonna throw the Edelbrock LS3 in it and make 650, 700 and probably call it a day. It's gonna be my first true attempt at making a really good BMW. So granted, you could say, Ryan, you're kind of cheating. It's already a good BMW because it has everything you could think of done to it. But it's just so many good bones, but we're just going to try to make it a bit more reliable and a bit more, friendly for me. At least kind of progressing in like the power numbers, I guess you could say. The vet that's in the trailer, my typical vet that everyone would know me by, makes 440, and at least putting this LS3 with a little blower on it should make around 600. So not too much of a jump that we're trying to make. We're just trying to slowly increment the power that I'm making, and at least put in a car that has a bit more chassis grip than the BMW or than the Corvette potentially. So that's project number 2 for the off season. So at least going into next year, Dylan's gonna be what's the word I'm looking for? Championing, driving, whatever. He's gonna be driving this, I'll be driving that. We'll be running a 2-car program pretty much where we'll be in the same trailer. It's unfortunate that we don't want to run the same chassis. I just really want to give the BMW chassis a good season just to see if I really like it. I do love my Corvettes though, so we'll see how that goes. Beluzi sitting here, dusty as always. Haven't driven it since our wedding, so super unfortunate. I actually put the windows down because it started to smell musty inside, so that just shows how little I can move this thing. Kind of sad, but she's always beautiful, and I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. We were debating on raising it, but I don't want to raise my car because I'm a little stingent on that. This has been Kayla's side project. This is the Supercharger Z. This has been sitting for about 2 years. Finally pulled the timing apart and found out that it is horribly out of time. We think that's why one bank was running rich, one bank was running lean. We really don't know. We're going to put it back together, hopefully have it retimed properly this time, and hopefully it makes more than 160 horsepower on the dyno. Beyond that, we'll figure out exactly what the plan is for this car. Initially, it was just going to be this Hitachi build that I do with a good buddy of mine, and it was just going to be just a demo car. Makes cool power, cool noises, has cool angle, but never really push it to that limit. So we'll see what we end up doing with it. It just needs to work for more than a day. Beyond that, way over here, we have pretty much 3 other builds that are in process. Kayla, big amazing wife, is currently repainting Red Z. It's gonna be the first car she ever repainted, so that's gonna be awesome. Pretty much this is just gonna be the Drift Week 9 car. So the only changes we're making is painting, Slight little wrap, nothing crazy. It's gonna be a small livery. We're gonna change the diff and the coilovers. Sound it in the inside, make sure we don't have any exhaust leaks. Do a carbon hatch, redo a different carbon hood. Basically just with a lot more people going to Drift Week 9, try to make it look nice, make it sound good, and don't try to show up with anyone, but just have a nice, clean, good Z. Hopefully don't break anything like we did last time, and just have a great time. It's in Texas, so be the first time I drifted in half the tracks in Texas. So that's really exciting. It's gonna be nice though, because at least hotels have been pretty nice. It's like one track is like 20 minutes from another. It's like an hour from the other. So it's really not so crazy as the last Drift Week where it was 7-hour drive, 6-hour drive, 5-hour drive. It seems to be pretty much 2 or 3 drive days and everything else is close. So should be fun. This is Ethan Reed's old car. I traded the G35 that I had for a while for it. Currently no coils on it because I had to steal the coils for my car, because I found out that my car, at least the Vikings, are either so stiff where it doesn't put the power to the ground, it just spins it, or those coils are just shot. So I put the silvers that were on this car on that car, and it felt 10 times fucking better. The only thing is the front was so low that we were having some bump steer issues or some binding issues, but at least it was one of those things where we had the car, we didn't want to spend the money on new coils, but let's just give it a try and see if it actually does make a difference. So we're gonna be putting the silvers back on this car and probably buying some feels for the C5. Or the other way around, we might put the feels on this. This car's, all things considered, is very similar build as my C5. LS3 though versus the LS1 that I have in my car. Holley, same as my car. This is drive-by cable versus my car being drive-by-wire. This has the FDF Pro kit, which has the relocated rack with the BMW rack. So this actually is a really cool system compared to just the mega kit that I have. This is the same kit that we're gonna actually be putting on Dylan's C6. So that'll be really cool to do that. And at least power-wise, he's just gonna keep stock LS2, but everything else is gonna be as Pro-Am-ish as we can make it. One other big difference between my car and this car is just, besides the box being in the way, giant fuel cell. Don't mind all the grass. I drove it in the field and it kind of got everywhere and almost started the car on fire. But AccuSump fuel cell, and this is all completely gutted with a proper firewall versus my car. We still have the OEM. I don't even know what they call that, but the material. It doesn't have all the tubing and the caging that this has, so we'll get there eventually. But yeah, and then at least some life updates. We have the Miata, which finally had the headlight mounted. So now all we have to do is mock up the fenders, mock up a bumper, get a jumper pigtail for the MB1 versus MB2 headlights, and this car should be an absolute ripper again. And currently we have the LS Genesis Coupe that you've seen in the background of a handful of videos at Bob's, hopefully getting wired soon. Wiring, drive shaft, mid pipes fabricated, some fan work, and that car should be good to go. Get it tuned and just enjoy it. That car is not really going to be a drift car, it's just going to be something to street on. So beyond that, we have a lot of fun tires we're going to be testing out soon. We have some 275 Nittos, we have a few 295 GT radials. I plan on bulk buying a handful of 285 Kendas just because those are my preferred tire and they're fucking amazing. Beyond that, nothing really is going to change off the engine rack. Just putting the Edelbrock in the BMW. Beyond that, business as usual, just trying to get shit done. And now that the season's over, we actually have time to catch a break, have some fun with this car, and have some fun doing fun events versus competing and pretty much doing every other weekend at US Air. So beyond that, talk to you guys soon.